I will be just eating some pasta here, guys. So you don't want to hear me munching. So I'll probably just edit the audio. So I think we probably check here. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna float against a half pot bet on this board. I think he's actually got sixes a lot here. Same hand or sixes. He could have eights, which would be bad. Pretty sure he's got sixes. Wow, he does float. Okay, he had ace queen. Floated. Didn't want to 3-bet a pre. Big stack on big stack, just sort of controlling. So it's interesting that he did that. Don't mind it, especially with the short stacks behind that. You know, might jam once he flats. Nuno or Lol might jam, squeeze. I mean, they're not the squeezy types, but they might just jam sheerly because they're, you know, short. They might have a decent hand. A pretty close between just raising and jamming here. I think I will actually just raise. But ICM probably says jamming is a fist pump jam. But at the same time, I don't think it's quite necessary because I don't think he's going overboard. I don't think he's going overboard 3-bet whacking us here with these two as short as they are. But I could be wrong. He might just say, hey, Acesup is raising 100%. I'm going to just jam everything here. King X and, you know, Ace X, King X, suited queens. If that's the case, then obviously just jamming is much better because we prevent that from happening. And like I said, you know, ICM-wise, it's a fist pump jam, but that doesn't mean it's always the best play. In a jam or fold situation, jamming is best. But I think we can raise, and I could be wrong, but I mean, he hasn't been doing that much. So I feel like he's kind of in sort of hold mode. He's in patient mode where he's kind of waiting for the, you know, surviving. I feel like he's in survival mode. And so I think we get enough folds for it to be profitable. And then the times that we do run into a monster, you know, we can just escape and fold it when he jams. But I just, yeah, like I said, I just think he folds enough. We get enough folds where the raise is quite profitable. Yeah, and just for less risk. But, you know, he does seem capable based on his stats. And he does know we're raising very wide, so it's a close one. So I think we've got a raise and a call here. Is that what happened? And then a min bet. So Nino's sort of doing all the fishy signs. He's 4-betting like most of his stack. He's min betting. And that's kind of what we said, is he might be a bit on the fishy side, but pretty easy raise fold here, I think. Well, wow. I don't even know if I'm going to c-bet on this board now once he flats. I think I might just check give up, to be honest. I think he just traps here a lot. I really do. It's close. I mean, we could try and, you know, send out a little quarter Potter, see where he's at. Little quarter Harry Potter. But it just depends how fishy he is. My very, very old note says he was ABC, very boring to play. That's like probably, I'm guessing that's like a 5-year-old note, but I don't know. I'm not very good at dating my notes, so I should be better. But I'm just guessing that's the case. He shouldn't obviously be fighting there with much, with his stack size at the final table, with the ICM, with the bubble factor and stuff. But you know, he might just be flatting with like King Jack, King Queen. Maybe he's even set mining. You know, it's just hard to say. I feel like he was probably trapping, but we did have an ace blocker, so maybe he had King Queen. But Jack's kind of a bad card as well, because Jack Queen suited and King Jack, if he is going to call with a wider range, are hands that he would call with. So it's hard to imagine he would set mine with that stack in that spot, but who knows? It's interesting. Yeah, I mean the blind's 12 minutes now, and they're quite big now. So every player is sort of under pressure. I mean, yeah. I said this before, but I think next level is... I'm surprised we haven't lost anyone recently, to be honest, with the stacks the way are. Everyone's either being really careful or just, you know, everyone's just avoiding each other somehow. You know, the hands are just not matching up where players are playing back at each other and busting. But, you know, you're going to expect it to be like that with a high bubble factor and stacks this vulnerable. You're not going to be expecting to see a lot of post-flop play, that's for sure. But I am a little bit surprised we haven't seen it, like, you know, just a little bit more raising and jamming and then calling and then, you know, ace queen against jacks or whatever. Tens against eights. I feel like Carpe Diem maybe defends a little bit too wide, personally. He seems to be defending a lot. Got to give him credit though if he 3-bets here. He's never missed a 3-bet. It's a good spot for it. Very hard for us to combat. Wow, he just shoves. I was thinking if he made it 33, what we would do. If we'd make it like 65. A bit of lag there. Wow. So these middling hands are always a little bit awkward. 15. If low jams there, it's kind of it's a pretty nasty spot because he just hasn't been 3-bet jamming. Just been so patient, but I don't think we could fold this turn, but very, very close. I mean, he's only M5 now. Just seems to be in survival mode. It's interesting that Carpe just shoved on us. You know, he might have had a hand where he just didn't want to deal with a 4-bet if it happened, you know, because of the ICM. And the funny thing is I mean, let's say he's small 3-bets ace-king and we shove. He's actually in a pretty tough spot because, you know, with the ICM, the bubble factor that we have at the moment between us is the highest. And it's really high. I mean, we've got sort of almost double the other guy's stack between us. Kind of a little bit sorry I didn't 3-bet this guy before with the 2-6 from the big blind. I feel like it might have been a good spot. I feel like he might be just choosing UTG as his light opening spot. This guy is, you know, he's never had that many chips, but I must admit, he's kind of maintaining. He's opening. I mean, he's opening a fair bit. Well, not a fair bit, but enough. Bet and win. Must admit, Carpe Diem, the fact that he does defend, you know, the fact that he does defend quite wide, I think he's going to raise his limp for sure. The fact that he does defend quite wide, is a bit of a deterrent from stealing his blinds, I must admit. I'm surprised you called the ace-queen when we bet half pot on that flop before. I mean, I just think it's kind of... well... yeah, I guess it's not too bad. The thing is, if he hits an ace or a queen, a lot of the time, you know, if we have ace jack and we're c-betting or king queen, he might win a big pot, but he also might lose a big pot. But yeah, I just think it's a close one. But he's definitely aware of the ICM because he just flatted with the ace queen off, and he just shoved on us before. I think it was just an ICM decision. It was a pretty big shove. That's been one of our money spots, hasn't it? That open right there. I think I'm going to go for another one here. Just a fake tank. Probably not going to call or jam with the 3-10 off. Don't think. But I do think it's not too bad a spot to bring it in, because we get pretty good leverage against scams. He doesn't defend that wide, and he's only got just under M9. Lolo's been doing nothing. He's short in the small blind. A little bit hard for Carpe Diem to 3-bet against an early position, too wide, and he's got these stacks behind which could jam. And Godliker and Nino haven't been 3-betting much at all. I think all in all it's a decent spot to steal, and I think those earlier positions are actually, yeah, I mean, I think they're good for us. Might have to stand up for this one. Here he comes, jamming. Oh, jam. Well, how do we want to continue here? 7 and 11, that's 14, 34. This might look a bit obvious, but we have 3-bet him a couple of times already, so. So, I mean, it was due. It was definitely due. I said we were going to lose someone. And I think we'll probably raise here. Pretty tough spot for him. I mean, yeah. I think it's good to leave the door open for him, though. I do think leaving the door open for him is good. You know, when I say that, I mean just the 3-bet inducive size. Because we did 3-bet a couple of times already, so we do have the image. And at the same time, if we jam, and he knows he's got 0 fold equity, you know, he might refrain from jamming some hands if he thinks he has a little bit of fold equity, because of the bubble factor especially. At the same time, he's probably a little bit suspicious about 3-bet, and might think, okay, I'm kind of raising short and he's 3-betting, it kind of looks strong. Why doesn't he just jam? But maybe he does have a raise folding range. And then it just makes it a pretty easy decision for him anyway, I think, with 8s. But if we jam or just induce, either way it's going in. But if he had a hand like 5s and we just jammed, I mean, that's a hand now that he could actually probably fold. But I don't think he's going to just raise 5s. I think he might just shove it. But he could have some other hands like Jack Queen and stuff, that King Jack, King 10, 10 Jack suited, 9-10 suited. Maybe he just thinks that he has fold equity, or you're never calling a jam obviously with those hands, but once we 3-bet, maybe he thinks he can, you know, jam on us. But you know, at the same time, a lot of those sort of, the range I'm talking about now is sort of hands that might just open jam on us. So, you know, it's kind of close. It's just like Lol is going to wait till the last possible minute and then double up. This is what his plan was. This is what his plan has been the whole time. Every time he's all in, I think he's doubled. Now he's just down to M2 almost. Whew, this is exciting. I haven't had this much fun in a while. It's exciting when I think when there's, well, there's not quite 5 figures. You know, it's 9499, but you know, it's close. I think it's kind of more exciting when there's 10,000 up there. Not that it's not ever exciting final tabling, but a god like it did fold. You know, I thought that it's just saying, wasn't I before? I think he might be making some cheeky UTG steals, and he did make the cheeky fold there. At the same time, I think Carpe Diem is probably going to hand, attacking an M7 UTG open. Probably had a pretty good hand. Just Nino again. Carpe Diem hanging on again after defending. Could have hearts, I guess. 10 Jack, Queen. I think he's probably going to have to bet with anything he has, whether it be a misdraw or if he's got like 10 Jack clubs, or I think even if he's got a Queen, he can go ahead and bet pretty small here. I think Nino's not the sort of guy that does a lot of folding, I think, and he's not the sort of guy I think that's going to... Well, I mean, he did 4-bet fold before, a third of his stack, but pretty bad board to bluff on, I think, once he checks turn. Oh my god, how did he just flat with that? That is disgusting. How does he not raise it? What's he worried about? Queen 9. So Queen 9 is the only hand. That is just incredible. Just flats the river. You guys seeing this? 20 and he flats. How does he not make it, 85 there? On wheelie bins. I like this open here. I think these guys are kind of like, oh, he's going to take Lolo all in. Okay, let's just get rid of Lolo and move on. At the same time, Lolo's actually folding a lot, even though he's a tiny stack. And even if he calls, we're getting good price with the hand we have. Based, because of the blinds and antes represent such a significant portion of the pot compared to Lolo's all in if he does jam. I'll probably 3-bet Carpe here if he opens. This guy I'm not so sure about. I mean, I think we get less fold equity. He's pretty likely, I think, to be a sticky fish. The option here is that we could actually make it like... could always make it like 42-1-1-1 here, and I think that Nino's going to fold a lot. Yeah, I think it's really close. We would have scooped, presuming Nino doesn't do anything funky and just folds on us. I think I will just call here because I think, wow, it's pretty gross. It's his stack size. 56 to call. I don't think we can fold here. 4, 7, 15. Yeah, we can't quite fold 15. So it's just M4.5. Can have ace 10 suited up. Yeah, we're getting 56. Yeah, we can't fold. I think because Nino's the weak links, you know, calling to try to stack Nino is okay. But we just can't win this flip 3-ball. Can't win this flip. But yeah, we can never fold to that stack size jam, unfortunately. We just have to run good next time. The 3s is a hand that we could 3-bet, I think, but just because I think Nino is the kind of guy that if he flops top pair, might have trouble escaping. You know, so I think we're getting pretty good implied odds. At the same time, Cup is calling pretty loose from the blind. He might get involved, and Godlike is not 3-betting much. So, you know, I think it's okay in position with the 3s to call against that in that sort of situation, but it's pretty close. This would have been a better board, wouldn't it? I'm still a little bit disappointed with the ace-2 that I didn't click it up to 40 last hand, because I just think Nino's going to fold his ace-8 and just hope that we bust, you know, low, and he moves up in the money. It's a pretty strong play to make, I think. And at the same time, we're ahead of Lolo's. Well, I wouldn't even say we're ahead of Lolo's range because he's been so tight, but we're definitely doing well against it. And as it was, we were ahead. It was really close, you know. I mean, Lolo's been uber tight. Nino, you know, he's been opening a bit, not tons. Our hand is marginal. It was kind of very borderline all around, but I think it's okay to go ahead there and isolate to Lolo. Nino has to get out of the way because, you know, he doesn't want to bust necessarily. But at the same time, you know, Nino has proven to be a little bit sticky, and he might call or even take it next level. Not impossible with the ace-8. You know, I probably would if I was Nino, I must admit. If we had made it 40, I might just go ahead and make it, you know, 75. just rep the nuts and ace-8, get heads up, get dead money, and then get heads up against Lolo with likely the best hand. Nino in the tank here. Pity the 3s didn't hold. We would have been more of a sort of predominant. We would have had a more predominant chip lead. It's interesting that as soon as Lolo folded, you know, Godlike was ace-9 suited. I'm in. Snap jammed it in there once it got to him, which is not too bad there. I think as a squeeze, I think it was fine. Especially as the shorter stack that needs to make some moves, needs to make it happen. I still can't believe this guy didn't raise before with the pocket 3s. And the thing is that it just seems a little bit fishy enough that Capidem with his king-queen might actually sometimes look him up. You know, if he happens to make it, pop it up to, you know, 70 or 80 on the end after Cape bet 20. Cape's getting a decent price to call. And he's against a player that is a little bit capable of mashing buttons. So it'd be interesting to see what he would do. 12, 3, 15. 15. I think I might wait this one. I'm definitely going to look to 3-bet Godliker in that spot soon. Seems to be opening in that spot a little bit too much. We haven't seen Nino 3-bet much at all, so I think I'm going to wait here. But my initial plan was to 3-bet Cape, or if Nino flatted, to actually squeeze and make it like 48k, but we haven't really seen this from Nino yet, so it's close. I mean, I could re-click it up to 70 odd, but if he just snap folds now, we kind of know, okay, yeah, so he just snap folds. I mean, we did see him 4-bet fold before, so I mean, I guess he's capable of mashing. 15 here. I mean, it's going to be a pretty easy 4-bet if Carpe or Godlike do anything there. Blinds will be up in 7 minutes and probably be a welcome increase, because it'll just give these guys a little bit less playability. The trade-off is with less depth of stack. You know, it does bring them a little bit more into the game from a chip point of view. I mean, no, not really. I mean, normally if it was a big increase, a decrease, you know, if everyone went from M, 40 to M, 10, obviously the skill factor is going to be. Normally, when the stacks decrease, normally the skill element is actually decreasing fairly proportional along with it. But in this particular instance, I actually think that the decreasing stacks actually benefits us more. The reason why is because they lose, skill element or not, they actually lose a little bit of an ability to get 2 out of line. And 4-bet us to fold, basically. Could definitely go either way on this, but I'd hate to 4-bet and get jammed on 4, 8, 4, 8, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 8, 4, 5, 7, 15. Yeah, I think I will actually just call. We're getting a good price, and Godlike looks like he c-bets with a decent percentage, so. It's an easy one. I think in that instance, Godlike, I just sort of thought, well, Acesup hasn't been defending a ton of against my UTG opens. I might just give this one up. Obviously a good board for us, and I think it's important we bet turn to protect our hand once he checks flop. We do have the guts, there is a bit of backup. There's 2 flush draws on there. We're pretty sure he has overcards. May as well go ahead and protect. He looked like he was contemplating a call with a hand like King High or something. I think if he has Ace High, he probably calls. I tried to bet an amount where if he does do anything silly like raise turn, we can probably call and then decide river. At the same time, we might get value from worse hands like Ace High. I don't think he's going to raise turn often, but I think he and Nino are guys that are kind of capable of potentially doing some sort of weird play like that, where they just check flop, and then all of a sudden go from saying I have nothing to just trying to rep huge on the turn. Telling sort of unconvincing stories is what I'm really saying. Taking kind of warped lines. Carpe just defends. But he plays pretty solid. He plays well post flop, so it's been working out okay for him. And here in position against Godlike, I think it's okay to be calling pretty wide, and hopefully he has Queen 9 or 7 9. He's probably got 9 10 a lot, Queen 8, might have Jack 8, 10 Jack, all that sort of stuff you can have. I mean, there's not a lot of merit to really 3-betting those hands. You can call in position. There's a big bubble factor. You may as well go ahead and call. Might even have Jack 9, Carpe. Queen 10 or Jack 9. Maybe Queen 8. Something like that. Thinking about thin value. There it is, and now Godlike can shove. And Carpe Diem can never call. That would be pretty sick. think if God like a raise there, I might have just stuck in the 4-bet this time. I think I will next time if he opens it up. I think just raising it up there is okay. I mean, Nino's going to be limping pretty wide, I think. I will go for the raise here, but it's kind of close. Because Kape has just enough room to 4-bet us. And he's capable. Pretty close between checking and betting flop. I mean, you could certainly do either. I mean, once in a while he can actually have a hand that didn't want to get it in pre, like ace-10, so it's a little bit of a dangerous board for us. I didn't really want to check though and just let something silly happen, like, you know, backdoor clubs get there, or, you know, he has like 4s and the turns are 4 and we stack off, or, you know, whatever. It's a good 3-bet and then pick it up on the flop with a c-bet though, for sure, because it just, I feel like it just gives us a little bit of momentum. The other important thing about raising Nino's limp before is that you can see that he just folded there, so I think that it probably just thinking, how should we play this? Maybe just a min raise. Pretty close here, because, well, I think he does actually, jam on us quite a bit. This is a bit of an annoying spillage here if he jams. That's annoying. He's very sticky, you know, that's why I wasn't a big fan of the raise pre. I think he's very emotional about his blinds. Seems like he doesn't like anyone stealing his blinds. At the same time, you know, we get really good leverage even with just a min raise against his stack. Pretty bad flop, but again, we get good leverage then with a c-bet against his stack, so... Yeah, it's kind of an annoying one, because we just built up this little buffer, you know, and now kind of pop back down a little bit. And he kind of popped up a little bit. See if we can hold up. Yes, that's a good one to get. So we're just going to see if we can finish these guys off. Good flop, scary turn. Yeah. That was a good spot too. I think I'm going to be a little bit careful with Godliker because he loves his blind so much. But I'm certainly still going to be looking to jam on him a little bit. It's a bit of a balancing act for us at the moment. We've got the chips. We've got the right to be the bully on the playground. At the same time, these guys kind of know what we're up to, so we've got to be a little bit careful. I don't mind Cut B raising there. I don't mind it because it's putting Godliker under pressure. At the same time, it gives us the option to, 3-bet Cut B if we want to. So it's kind of good. It's got the double power. We can say, okay, we're going to 3-bet. You can see he's really wary of us 3-betting him. I think he's overly wary. He's giving us a little bit of an easy time here. He'll be happy to see that. He wants us to put pressure on Godliker. It's important for us to go for the jugular here and go for the win. Because you can see Carpe's gone into sort of nit mode. It's not really necessarily a bad thing because, Godliker's so short. He can move up and get an extra $1,600. Again, it's a good spot. We can, if we want to, we can make it 45. Wow. And what a flop that is. Oh. Carpe. I think he might jam a lot there, but no, he's just made an angry fold. Can't blame him for making an angry fold there after that sickness. You think you've got the dream flop and all of a sudden you get shafted on the river. In terms of winning, it's probably potentially better. I don't really know how these guys are going to play heads up though, so it's hard to say exactly. I don't know. Godliker maybe is okay heads up. Carpe maybe he's a full ring player, but Carpe definitely plays better from what we've seen. Not that Godliker's been any slouch, but now Carpe's very short. Yes, come on. Heads up. Let's do this. So what my plan will probably going to be here is to just go hard from the get-go. I think we can probably pot control here. Pretty hard not to pay off here. Or get value, as the case may be, on the end. So I think I'm going to 3-bet. I think my plan would just be to 3-bet him a lot. Right from the start. Yes, people, we did it. 100 rebuy in the bag. Congratulations, you've won this tournament. Whew. Okay. Time for a
relaxing end to this day now after doing work. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I might come across this later and talk a bit more about it because it was a great score, and I felt that we played quite well throughout the table, throughout the final table and leading up to the final table. The main thing I think I was able to do was to maintain aggression, but not get into sort of big risky spots, which is obviously really important. We managed to not quite coast through. There was a few bumps along the way, but finish off in style, and obviously a good situation at the end there. Got a couple of big hands straight away and finished it quickly, because I was envisaging maybe a big battle heads up, but over, done, finished, and this has been Acesup signing out. Thanks for watching.